Well, welcome everybody to Go For Side Effects. I'm your host, Kevin Simon. What I want to kind of plan on doing is recap of 2021 and what the plans are for 2022. My ideas and where I want this program to go to. Last year, of course, y'all all know when I started this was due to the knowings of what the VA and what our government knows about what all we went through during Desert Shield, Desert Storm. We're coming up to the anniversary, of January the 17th of 91, almost 31 years, and for Desert Storm. And a lot of people know that back in August 2nd of 1990 was whenever Desert Shield started to go down. I want to recap a little bit about what it was like during my time during Desert Storms and some of the memories that I have, a little bit of it. I remember when I first pulled into the Gulf of Oman. And when we pulled in, the only reason I know it was the September 14th because it was on my birthday. Most people, you don't normally hit into wartime on the exact day that you were born. So first got out there and you saw the oil rigs on fire. It was just amazing. And at nighttime, it was also seemed like daytime with all the oil rigs out there on fire. And then we immediately went into classes on the chemical agents that Saddam would be using against us and the potential, I guess, what they quote unquote said. They took us into a class on mines, on different type of mines, underwater mines, the underwater mines that are when your ship vibrates, it comes up, blows you up, and then the above sea mines. And then every single one of us trained on how to put on our gear, but they told you, approximately about you had 5 to 10 seconds to don it or it was no good donning it. Well, I don't put on a pair of socks unless 5 to 10 seconds. And then when we got out there, of course, I was on the USS San Jose, AFS-7 auxiliary free store ship. And what we did is we transferred all types of, from sodas to missiles to ammo to, food to jet engines to anything that we could transport to ship. And so unrepping was really fascinating to me. Two ships go side by side and you're sending over cargo back and forth. A lot of us have memories and some of our memories fade with age or time or the fogginess, and some stuff we don't want to remember. There's some stuff we do want to remember. But I told a story today that I found really interesting. A guy was asking me about, the ship I was on. He said, what's one of the most favorable times that you can remember being in the service? I said, I'll never forget, there was a guy on the USS Mars. And on the Mars, he was driving a forklift. And the Mars is the same class as my ship is a AFS. And he drove it off the fantail, off of the flight deck, into the port. Broke both of his legs. But I'll never forget that a guy on my ship named Matthews jumped overboard to go help him. Well, who do you think got more trouble? The guy on the forklift or the idiot on my ship that jumped in to save him? Needless to say, the guy on my ship got in the most trouble. But to me, that was a memory that always sticks out. A lot of the guys that I talk to, we all have certain things in common. And there's some stuff we don't have in common. I look back and I'm like, Mike was the first one, episode 3 that I brought on. He talked about his dealings with the VA, breaking his back. He just had surgery a few months ago again, and everything seems to be going okay. Please put him in your prayers because he's still going to need it. He'll be going back surgery after back surgery after back surgery. Also, on top of that, we also had Rusty, who he filed his claims. Some got denied, some got approved. And he was going to go back and hire an attorney. And that's your first mistake. After you wait a few years and you decide to refile to either up your stuff or file new claims, always use a VSO officer. Your state representatives are there to help you. The state veterans service officers are there to help you at all times. I can't express enough that go to va.gov, check everything you got on site, look at everything you got on site, and Let's find out what each of every one of us that we have that are under the presumptives. Your sinuses, your neuropathy, your digestive system, all that stuff is under presumptives. Chronic fatigue syndrome, IBS, them two, and fibromyalgia, them three are your main things that the VA looks. A lot of them are secondaries. And remember, you can file your secondaries, guys and gals, under certain stuff. Like my neuropathy is filed up underneath my IBS. And just like my GERD, which I don't understand it, but that's filed under my IBS as a secondary also. And then you can also have secondaries onto the neuropathy. The medications, if the medications make you more depressed, if the medications help you, are giving you side effects, but when you go in, make sure everything that you're diagnosed with is on your diagnosed chart. Your progress notes, that's the key. So this is why I want to recap, because we're going to start this year, 2022. We're bringing more vets on to talk and to tell us their stories, but how we can help them. We've already helped several veterans, and we got them up to 100%. And then we also were able to help family members who had, veterans, their dads or their husbands and all that. We're getting them help in other states. So all of us have a hand in this and helping each other. That's what we're here for. I had Fernando on. Fernando told a fantastic story about his time in, and that he actually got State Department letters where they actually said that he was exposed to biological chemical warfare. I want to welcome each and everybody on. Happy New Year and everything. As a matter of fact, Jason, I would love to have you come on and talk with everything that you're experiencing and everything. I'm going to send you a message, and that will have my phone number, and you can contact me. I would love to talk to you before you want to come on the show or anything like that. I think Fernando's story is because that struck me a lot, is because he literally had letters where most of us didn't get letters that actually showed. But what caught me with his is his last letter he got saying, hey guys, now you are just a little bit exposed now. Well, at first you told these guys they were completely exposed and all this stuff. And then turn around and say, nah, you know what, you're only a little bit exposed. As we went on, we also talked to Shannon Lee. Shannon I had on a few times on this program, and she is a, holistic health coach. And y'all should go back, watch them interviews. She literally came back with IBS problems, neurological problems, feeling drained, all them problems. And she was able to help herself out of it. And she's wanting to help veterans get out. She may not be able to cure it all, but she can help you feel better. She can help you wake up and get your day started. And I really enjoyed having her on. And then I had Aaron on, which of course Aaron was on my ship, and he didn't even know about presumptives. He had no idea. The VA never contacted him, and he went to the VA normally, but none of his reps or any of that stuff actually talked to him about the Gulf War and explained to him that he needs to be following some of the conditions. Now he's on track. We got him listed. He's taken all the exams. He's got his last one coming up, and I'll keep everybody posted on Aaron, because that's the one I really want to help out a lot right now, is because he started from scratch. And then we got Stephen Turner. I remember when I saw the news report that my best friend sent to me, he said, man, you got to watch. This guy feels all alone. He doesn't have anybody that he can talk to. And so now I talk to him. I talk to Stephen on a regular basis. He's my buddy. We got together. The guy that introduced us, is from ABC News. And the ABC News guy is actually a Desert Storm veteran himself. And he's just trying to connect veterans together to get these guys help. So I really appreciate each and every one of them guys up at his news station for helping us out. up in Chicago. And then we had Jimmy. Jimmy really helped out with the terminations and how to get filing and how the East Coast is doing better than what the West Coast and the South is doing. But the South and the West Coast are keeping their stuff and getting more involved in what's going on with the VA and with everything that happened to the Gulf War vets. So, and then Roy Sellstrom, I cannot thank enough. Roy was in a British Army, and for him to stay up as late as he did to come on to a show to tell us the exact same things that the British are going through as far as illnesses that we have, but how they get treated so much differently than what what we do. Them guys over there don't get half of what we get from our VA. And that makes me very thankful for us living in America. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done, and a lot that can be done, and a lot that will be done this year. And then, I talked about all the chemical exposures we went through, the mustard gas, the sarin gas, the spread, the 1.3 miles of everything that we went through over there. And then Keith came on it, and Keith told his story, which was fascinating also. And, everybody, it seems to me, has the exact same stories. We all have digestive system problems. We all have neurological problems. We all have, fibromyalgia. We all have something that's ailing each and every one of us, but it's the same exact thing. And that's why we need to get our voices heard even more. The more that we come out, the more they listen. Believe it or not, I get in contact with several people that have listened to the show, that have sent me emails, that are explaining that their parents or their loved one is going through the same thing, that they don't feel alone anymore. And there's no need for any of us to feel alone. We all should have each other's back. When y'all are out on the field in the Army and the Marines and, whatever the Air Force does, I'm just kidding. There's a little bit of sense of humor. Or even the squids, us sailors. We all have one thing. We want to come back, and we want to get back to our normal state that we went over there in, mentally and physically. When we come home, we want our kids to be able to know what we did, how proud we were, not just the problems that we went through, but everything that we did over there for our country. Hey, no matter what they say, if it wasn't for the 4 branches of the service, these people wouldn't be going to bed at nighttime, waking up in the morning and going to a job every day, knowing that the peace from our military that they get each and every day for what we have done throughout this world. From all the way World War I, II, Vietnam, Korean, all of us, Desert Storm, Iraqi freedom guys, Afghanistan. And so the most heartwarming, and the one that I literally had tears, was when I talked to Greg Wilson. I don't know if he's on here tonight or if he's listening, but to go in and to experience what Greg went through the VA with cancer, how they left him there, his new bride to take care of him, was just very emotional. And it really burned my ass to know that the VA, that some parts of the VA that still treat the veterans wrong. Like I said, I saw a TikTok today. Like, I try to go through a lot of TikToks about veterans and all stuff, but I found this one TikTok, and they were saying, praying for Jennifer. And it happens to be at the VA I go to, which I have a lot of respect for my VA. And I enjoy going there. I've had no problems. But apparently, she's having a lot of problems. And she was an Iraqi freedom and brain tumors and all kinds of stuff that she went through. And so I'm following her story now, which I want to bring her on, because I think all veterans need to be heard. Not just us, not anybody that wants to come on this program. You're more than welcome. I want you on here. I don't care what branch of the service, the years you were in, we all are in this together. we all are in this together, 100%. But Greg never should have went through what he went through. And this is where our congressmen need to be heard. We got upcoming elections this year. If the people that can't back the military, they need to be voted out. To me, I think you should go into the Senate, Congress, President, I don't care. I think you should have to spend 4 years in the military and see what it's like to be on the battlefield or be out at sea away from your family, to know what it feels like to come home and not get the treatment that you deserve. And so Jay went through surgery that I had on, and I just talked to him, and he seems to be doing really good, and he's uplifted, and his surgery on his neck seemed to be doing really good. Now we're going to get in where I talked to Denise Nichols. She's got a lot of information, guys. She's on every one of the Gulf War illness pages, awareness pages, syndrome pages. If you have a question, look up Denise Nichols. On my page, you can literally put on there, hey, Kevin, I need you to get a hold of Denise. I have questions. She can help us all out. She is a nurse. She's been dealing with this since the Vietnam guys. She knows what she's doing. She's the one that goes up in front of Congress, and she's the one that's kicking ass to get us money. And so, I also, in that conversation, I talked to John. And me and John talk regularly. I send him messages, and, he'll send me messages. And, I like talking to John. He's probably my most educated speaker I think I've talked to. And he uplifts me. And if he doesn't have an answer, he gets a hold of me, and we helped this one lady out with her dad in Mississippi. And we were able to get him care and get him what he needed and get him to the right reps that he needed for the state of Mississippi. And I'm grateful for the state of Mississippi for helping out a fellow veteran. And so, I had Sarah Boyd on. Sarah, I don't know if she's listening tonight. I know she'll listen to this later. Sarah was having a lot of problems after she got all of her shots over there during Iraq. And, her neurological problems are really messed up. And they actually have a website, a Facebook page out there that they literally go in, and they're helping other vets with neurological problems and from the vaccine, and trying to figure out exactly what's going on, trying to bring awareness to Congress. I have that up on my Facebook page link if anybody is interested in looking at it. And then I had an Afghan veteran on, Sean Lowery. TikTok name, Sir Veteran Guy, which, I won't go into lengthy detail, but I follow this young man for a long time. He's written 2 books. He does a podcast. And Sean Lowery is a very uplifting guy because he went through something I can't say I totally went through. I know there was part of me that probably did have PTSD because whenever I was getting out, not only did I go through a war and 2 conflicts and all this stuff and everything I went through, I also went through a divorce. But when I went home, I went to counseling. He literally woke up one day and said, hey, I got to fix myself. And his story is just so amazing. But 2 days after I talked to him on here, I got to do a little recap on him a little bit. He sends me a thing saying, hey, Toyota picked me up and picked up his book, and they did a big thing on billboards in his town thanking him for everything he does for veterans. And I was like, no way. And he sent me the picture, and it was really cool. So I want to get the picture of the billboard and put up. He's so proud of it. And, I really like talking to him. He was an uplifting guy. And of course, everything I've already talked about, that I want to recap was right there. So now let's talk to what's going to happen this year. This year isn't just going to be Facebook Live or any of that stuff. I want to take this and I want to hit the road. I want to go to any city, any state that will have me to talk about Desert Shield, Desert Storm. I want to be invited to schools. I want Desert Storm veterans to be invited to schools and talk to the kids. tell them their stories. I mean, we got to get our word out there. We got to let the history books know that our war was just bad as the other wars of us not being taken care of. Which they knew what we gotten into and what they did. It's time for the kids, so our children, our grandchildren, don't go in the military, make the mistakes that we made. A lot of these guys now went in are saying no to certain stuff. They're standing up for themselves, and which I think is rightfully so. You know, I think if nobody is willing to understand why veterans are reluctant to trust or do anything from our elected officials, it's because of what has happened to the veterans. I mean, every day we all take medicine. Each and every one of us who have disabilities through the VA are on medicines. And it's not just little bitty. I mean, I'm telling you, every month I get 7 to 10 bottles of pills every freaking month. None of it's working. I tried that SAB, the stem, the whole plant of the marijuana, which has no THC. So just in case the VA is listening, that literally I can wear tennis shoes now. I can walk around. No, I don't have anybody tonight, Darren, because I want to do a recap of what all we went through. And I had Darren on my show, and Darren says he is going to come back on. And we're waiting for a time that is good for him. I want Darren back on my show. I want to talk to him. And there's Sean. Sean, I just got done talking about you being on the billboard. But 2022 needs to be about what all of us have been through, what we've done, and where we want to go. We can all put our head down into the ground and let the VA do whatever they want to, or let somebody else tell us where our lives go. Not for me. I am going 100%. I'm going to take this message. I'm going as far as I can with it. I'm already talking to congressmen. I'm already talking to senators. I sent emails out. I'm making phone calls to people in my district that are running. And I want them to come on to this show, and I want them to tell us what they're going to do for not just us, but what the veterans are the new military guys going in. How they can totally make sure that our kids and grandkids are going to be safe. And so we are working on that. 2022 is going to be the year, and yes, 22. We all know what that's about. To me, one suicide from a veteran is way too many. Y'all heard, if you went back to my other shows, how many people were sleeping on the streets. Go to Austin, go to Washington, D.C., California. We have the highest homeless rate of any other nation in the world. And so I know for 100% we can get the word and start helping out all these guys. And we need these kids that are going in to understand, as veterans, we got their back. And we want them to know that we are going to be there for them. And I know, on here, the new kids are worse these days, but we need to keep doing what we are doing. Okay. Sean, before you get off, I want your permission to put your picture of the billboard up on our Facebook page. So just give me a yes. I mean, if you say no, I'm still going to do it. You should know me by now, But I want each and every person. And this year also, I'm going to start taking calls where people can literally come in here, call me, and talk to me. And and be able to tell their story or ask questions. Or, hey, they know a veteran that needs help. And how can they go about helping them? Let's get this stuff on the right track. I'm going to build a team. And the team that I want to build is going to be, I want to try to get somebody in every state that if they get a phone call, they'll be able to help them in their state, who to get a hold of, what VSO officer. So there's a lot to be done. but I believe we can get it done. But I need y'all's help. I need each and every person's help. Get the word out there that we're not going to stand back. We're literally going to start fighting for what is rightfully ours. And that's what this country is about, each and every one of us. So, I mean, if anybody has any questions, please throw them at me. I'll take questions while I'm talking about this stuff. And I know Sean is going to be in Texas in March. Am I correct? In Austin. I'm going to meet up with him, and we're going to go hang out and drink a beer and have a conversation. And when we started this, you know, I didn't expect it, yes, on March 12th. I didn't expect this to take off the way it did. And I'm so grateful. I mean, I'm grateful for each and every one of y'all that listen to the program, but we need to get more people listening around the world. Let them know. I mean, right now we're trying to get in, you know, we're in Iraq. We're in Iran, believe it or not. We're in Belgium. We are in all European countries. And we're even in places I ain't never freaking heard of. There's even listeners in Guam. And so we're getting the word out there. With me, I have high expectations. My goal for this year is to have 100,000 listeners listening to this program, and I will get it done. I'm not going to give up. And, you know, and I'm going to read this comment, Jason. I have been told specifically by a few VA doctors that there is no system or help for us in the VA system, that multiple specialists is not a design. I also am told I am a part of a new pilot program for all of us Desert Storm vets, having the VA treat us. You know, there isn't. It isn't designed for the Gulf War vets or the Iraqi vets or any other Afghan vet out there to cure our problems. They're there to mask them. I mean, when you go to a doctor and every 6 months you have a brand new doctor and they are PAs, that is exactly the truth. They're not there to have the cure, because I don't think they know exactly what the cure is. You know, do I think that their intentions when we all first went in and they were like, you know, in case we get gassed by mustard or sarin gas, what we want to do is at least give these guys somewhat of protection. Yes, I do believe that. But they didn't know the side effects. And the side effects is what's hurting us. The Desert Storm veterans are aging faster than any other veteran. And, you know, I know that each and every one of us wants to get out there and do our part as far as helping each and every other vet. And we can do it, guys. We can do it. And we need to do it. We need to get the veterans off the streets. We need to get the veterans off of drugs. We need to get the veterans help. We need to get them the disability that belongs to them. You know, disability isn't something that, you know, is given to you because you served. It's given to you because you served your country. And that's what it was all designed about. If you got hurt, they were supposed to take care of you. Well, it's time for them to start taking care of us. So each and every one of us can do our part in this. You know, also in 2022, what I would like to see done also is all of us getting hold of our congressmen, talking to them. Let's sit down and have a one-on-one. Let's each and every one of us get out there and start making our voices heard. Talk to your kids about it. Talk to your grandkids about it. I can at least say that because now I got a grandkid. But let's bring in this new year by helping each other. And I know that in due time, which I hope it isn't too late, for some it already has been, but at least we can start getting the right answers. I don't think we'll get all the answers, but we'll start getting some right. And so, you know, just remember, if you know anybody, if you were in Desert Storm, if you were in Iraqi Freedom, if you're in Afghanistan, I don't care. You can come on this show anytime. And so I will make sure that I will do my best to keep this going every week. And every day, if somebody needs to call me, you can call me. If you want to talk to me, you can, my phone number. All you got to do is send me a message, and you can ask any of the guys. I do contact you back. There are some people out there that say that, that I may not be able, like Jason said, sounds good. I will be approaching them with why I have you ignore my previous contacts and everything. I know there was quite a few that was supposed to come on the show, and some stuff happened. It just happens sometimes. But Jason, I definitely want you on the show. And I want you to come on here. I want all your information and have it out. Darren is going to come back onto the show. As time goes on, I'm going to bring Sean back onto the show, because there was a lot of people that had a lot of questions that when I bring Sean on, I think, I want to be just people calling in, talking to them. And I think would be good for a lot of guys that listen to the program. So I want to thank each and every one of y'all for listening. Next week, we have a guest that's coming on, and I'll let it be a surprise. And I hope y'all have a great night and Happy New Year. And let's get the ball rolling. We'll see you later. Bye. Y'all please go to my website at goal4sideeffects.wordpress.com or email me at kevinsimon@goal4sideeffects.com. And please help support this podcast and the veterans by clicking on the link below. Thank you for your support.